Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CC Productions. We have another Monday Night Football doubleheader. I am amped for it, so sound the alarm. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into these games. First one we got 7:15 Eastern kickoff. Eagles travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Eagles are at -4.5. Over under set at 45.5. And the Eagles are -225. Buccaneers +180 on the money line, depending what book you're looking at. Some notes for these games. Both teams 2-0. Probably a surprise at this point that both of these teams are 2-0. Not a surprise for the Eagles. Big surprise for the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers this far have shocked the NFC North, getting them to 2-0. But what is that really saying? Vikings probably overlooked them, thought they were at home week one, going to start 1-0 against Buccaneers, who were thought to be in a down year. They got shocked in Minnesota, and then they played my Chicago Bears last week, who suck. So that's not saying much. But even still, they're 2-0. Hard to win games in the NFL. They are 2-0, and they are at home this week. My biggest takeaway from the Eagles this far, their run game is still amazing. I mean, DeAndre Swift had 175 yards rushing last week. They were killing it up front. And honestly, I think they should dominate a banged-up front seven for the Buccaneers, which we will definitely touch on more. But speaking of injuries, that has been the only issue for the Eagles this far, is they've had quite a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball, mostly defense, but both sides of the ball thus far. So let's touch on those. I'll go over all the Friday statuses for these players. So this is their status on Friday, whether they played or not. For the Eagles, did not practice. Safety Terrell Edmonds and wide receiver Quez Watkins were both out. Limited, Jordan Davis, Devonta Smith, Zach Cunningham, and Josh Sweat were all limited on Friday's practice. And then guys who were full participants, safety Reed Blankenship, corner James Bradbury, Fletcher Cox, and Kenneth Gainwell. So obviously a lot of injuries for the Eagles, but I think that extra day of rest should be good for them. And it looks like a lot of these guys are either getting to that limited or full participant in practice, which is good for the Eagles. However, the Buccaneers have not avoided the injury bug whatsoever, and almost all of their injuries are on the defensive side of the ball, and mostly in that front seven. On Friday, did not practice defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey and linebacker Servoka Dennis. Two fantastic names right there as well. Limited in practice, cornerback Carlton Davis, defensive tackle Vita Vea, and star linebacker Devin White. Full participant for them, safety Ryan Neal. So not as many injuries, but a lot of injuries within that front seven with some linebackers and defensive tackles being banged up for the Buccaneers. We will definitely be taking that into account when placing our bets. Just some quick trends for you. No, it's only week 2, but we can still take a look into it. Eagles this far against the spread, 1-0-1, and then the Buccaneers are 2-0, obviously, as no one expected them to win that first game, and then they covered the spread against the terrible Chicago Bears. Over-under records thus far, Eagles are 2-0. That potent offense has helped them get there, putting up a ton of points thus far, and the Buccaneers have split 1 over, 1 under. Some more fun trends for you that you can take into account before you place your bets. Eagles are 16-15 all-time on the road on Monday night. Not really saying much, just about 500. Buccaneers are 9-6 at home all-time on Monday night. However, both of these quarterbacks suck on Monday night. Jalen Hurts, 1-3 all-time record. Baker Mayfield, 1-4 all-time record, including losing his last 4 Monday Night Football games. So both of these quarterbacks not really built for Monday night. But one of them's got to win, so let's pick the spread here. My pick on the spread is Eagles -4.5. I think this run for the Buccaneers comes to a close in Tampa Bay. Like we touched on previously, Buccaneers front seven is banged up, and the Eagles have the best run game in the NFL, undoubtedly. I think they are going to dominate offensively. The Eagles roster is just far better than the Buccaneers. I'm taking them all day, -4.5. Moving into my over-under pick, like I said, I love the Eagles offense, think they're going to light it up, and I think the Buccaneers will put up enough points to get this over 45.5. Really like this pick, even though it is primetime. Primetime games usually seem to go under, especially Thursday nights, but I like this over at 45.5. So just for fun, I'll throw out a score prediction for you guys. I'm going to take the Eagles 31, Buccaneers 17. That's my score prediction for the game. Think the Eagles are going to prove to everybody they are still one of the top contenders in the NFC this year, and they are a force to be reckoned with. All right, and moving into the second game of the Monday Night Football doubleheader, And I'm just going to say I love saying that out loud. Monday Night Football doubleheader. Let's go. We've got the Rams traveling to Cincinnati, Ohio to take on the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 3 points. Over-under is set at 43.5. And the Bengals are at minus 162 on the money line, whereas the Rams come in at plus 136, depending on what book you're looking at. Just some notes. I understand the Bengals are 0-2. I touched on this in a previous video. Joe Burrow in his career, 1-7 in his first 2 games. As we've seen, the Bengals are always competing for the AFC Championship. So obviously, they're just a team that starts slow. Last year, they were 0-2 once again, bounced back big with a Week 3 win over the Cleveland Browns. And then, just a fun thing here, rematch of Super Bowl 56. Obviously, the Rams took that one. Should be a good storyline, I guess. Teams look a lot different, at least on the Rams side, than what they did in that game. Obviously, after coming off a very down year last year. So, a little different, but still cool to see. And then, just a note here, Rams look good to start. Obviously, went out, whooped up on the Seahawks. Offense looked good, putting up 31 points. Kept it pretty close with the 49ers last week, only losing by 7. Disgusting backdoor cover from the Rams, kicking that field goal. That was absolutely meaningless. Thank goodness I didn't have the 49ers. But if you did and you're watching this, I'm so sorry, and hopefully you don't have to hear about that again. Injuries, not much like we had in the last one. There's some injuries here and there, but I don't feel like they're key injuries that we need to go over. Just Joe Burrow with his calf, which has been a pretty big storyline thus far. He is questionable, which is why I think we're getting this line at -3, as well as the fact that they're 0-2. And then Puka Nacua, the guy who set the NFL reception record for a rookie with 15 catches. Awesome story, the 5th-round receiver from BYU. But he is questionable with an oblique injury. So something to watch there as they're already missing Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua has come out and been a dog for the Rams this far this year. Just some trends. Once again, only week 2. Take this with a grain of salt. Bengals, obviously 0-2 against the spread this far. Rams 2-0. Both teams have hit 1 over, 1 under, so nothing crazy there. Some more records for you with their Monday Night Football stats. Bengals suck on Monday night, 12-26 as a franchise, probably just because their franchise hasn't been all that good all time. And the Rams 33-36 all time on Monday Night Football. So both teams not super great on Monday night. Rams are definitely better. Just an interesting note here. Line opened at 6.5 and has moved to 3. Obviously, I think this line movement is because of Joe Burrow health question. Is Joe Burrow going to be playing? Because if Joe Burrow's playing, I don't think this line is at -3. Now, the thing that is really good is, like I said, Monday Night Football game, little bit more time to recover. Really good for Joe Burrow. Should help him out. Hopefully he'll be playing. If Joe Burrow doesn't go, it's Jake Browning, Washington University legend. Those of you who know, that guy was in like the Heisman running for a while in like 2016 when Washington had like a crazy high-powered offense. He has not done anything in the NFL, so if Joe Burrow can't go, that's who it'll be. But regardless of that, I'm going to buy low and take it right now with Bengals -3. I think Joe Burrow will play. Reports are saying he's leaning towards playing. He's been looking like he's limited in practice, but with the extra day of rest and also just Joe Burrow being Joe Burrow, I think he'll be out there. So I'm going to take the -3. It just seems like a buy low spot on the Bengals right now. They're 0-2 with a slow start, and it's only at -3 because Joe Burrow might be out too. So if you can get the Bengals, who always start slow and bounce back, and you have Joe Burrow playing in a primetime game, I think it will be a cover from the Bengals on this one. Give me the under with this. I don't like this line. I'm going to stay away from it. At 43.5, this game just seems to me like it's going to be one of those primetime games where both teams look kind of gross, start slow. I think both teams will start slow, might not look great at the beginning, and then, eventually the Bengals will probably get it and pull away. That's why I'm taking them -3. But I just have a feeling this is going to be one of those primetime games where both teams don't look great. But the Rams have also had good offense, so I could see how this could go over. I'm staying away from it. But if I had to choose, just have a feeling the under is going to hit this one. So, score prediction, since I'm doing it, I'm going to take the Bengals 21, Rams 16. Like I said, not going to be a fun game to watch, but that's going to be my pick for that. Let me know who you guys are picking these Monday Night Football games. If you're going to be tailing me, you're going to be fading me, one way or another, we get another Monday Night Football doubleheader. That is awesome. Hopefully you guys are tuned in. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.